Welcome back. It's great to have everybody again. This will be our kind of restart back into our Dark Ages game. And because it's been a while and this game's super complicated, this game's we're just gonna agree together that this game is totally okay with being a mess. Like, that is just gonna be fine. We're not gonna get all the NPCs completely straight. We're not going to get all our backstory, even the stuff that we played, completely straight. But we're going to muddle our way through it and either decide that whatever we say today is the way it is, or we'll go back and review it, whatever we feel like doing. So,
thematically appropriate thunder rolls on the background.
Yeah, sort of. Sort of, but sort of not. But sort of. Okay. So, we should do a character review. And since I imagine this could be a good re-entry point if people wanted to listen to it in the future, most notably me. Mm-hmm. Give me let's give a little bit of history for these characters that we're playing now. I know I normally like to start really, really brief and real fast with one distinct thing and a little bit of nothing, and then let's go. But let's dig into these guys a little bit now and talk about who they are. Who wants to go first?
I'll take it.
You'll take it.
So, I am playing Jakub Al-Hadrami, who is a Moorish gentleman from northern Africa. And long before he was an immortal being, he was a trader and traveled quite a bit from place to place. And has always been interested in the pursuits of understanding the world as it is, and not as it's been told. And so he spent much of his afterlife creating the infrastructure he needs to understand the world better, but in the process, creating what is now the jewel of, I forget the name of the river, but Kronstadt has been the center of his life for a long time. That he has built into a trading empire in the midst of Eastern Europe. And then has become a little bit of a center of learning for tradesmen and for merchants and for sailors. And in the process, if he was bitter before, he's become more cold and more bitter since. The world is a more terrible place than you know when you die and come back. But the spark of learning and of what the world really is still something that drives him, possibly sometimes maniacally.
Do you have any plots or schemes in your history that are noteworthy?
Well, so early on in the Unlife, we were in Constantinople in the 1200s. And there was a particular bishop there of the Orthodox faith by the name of Gabriella, who you'll hear more about later, I'm quite certain. But one of the things that we were able to do, me and my friend Pax Montalis, we were sent there among the others of our kind to go find her, to help her in whatever endeavor she needed, and she was immediately missing as soon as we got to the city. And so after a long time trying to find her, we found our way into the abyss itself through darkness and deafening muteness that place holds. We found our way using strange and horrifying artifacts to see our way. We did eventually find her and bring her back out of that place, though we did not leave untouched since we spent so long there. The Abyss now resides as part of us, and Jakub has embraced that. Certainly more so than his friend has, but certainly less so than their quarry.
Does anybody have any questions about Jakub?
Not particularly.
None are required.
Anything I should highlight more?
Well, I guess I can go next.
Go.
That means as the original 3 Canaanites of the group, that Tosh, you get to go next. Okay. Just so you know. Because that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So, a rather unremarkable day, April 9th of 1173, a babe was born into the world who was named Pax Montalis by his parents. Born of a minor nobility in Italy, in the where the heck, I forgot where he's from in Italy, but I wrote it down somewhere. Not important, come up with it later. Milan, that's right. Pax was a devout young man and sought to join under the tutelage of his uncle, whose name was Lux, to join the Crusaders and the Knights, the holy and righteous men who would promote, the beliefs of the Holy Roman Catholic Church. He ended up ultimately joining the Knights of Saint Lazarus as a hospitaller, and there his life led him to strange and foreign lands. Eventually invited on a mountain retreat along with his friends, not at the time but now friends, Emmy and Jakub, was embraced by the man he thought was his uncle, Lux. Turned out he was one of the Canaanites of the clan of Serpents, the worshippers of Set. Fleeing the dire circumstances there, perhaps the most influential time in his life thus far was the time spent in Constantinople. After being sent there by an early benefactor by the name of what's his name? No, I can't remember.
Daniel Coronado.
Daniel Coronado.
Daniel Coronado. It's been a long time since we played this, so I'm allowed to forget.
We already
established this is the suck game.
It can be a Charlie Foxtrot.
Yes, it is free to be.
So of all the things that we have done, probably the thing most influential for Pax was the time spent in Constantinople. For there he came to, after despairing greatly at his circumstances, his unlife, being betrayed and changed by one he thought was a trusted advisor and family, in fact. He learned that his life was going to be very different from what he thought it was going to be, but learned to see beauty and nobility among some of the Canaanites, and made many friends among the Toreador, among other clans. And in fact, just before fleeing Constantinople, whose fate was kind of sealed at that point already, was going to go up in flames in a few years, was able to meet with, not face to face, but the presence anyway, of Michael. I guess at that point he was 1/3 of the Trinity, but one of them had been slain. But one of the leading vampires in Constantinople. Before that, obviously met Gabriella, and she would be a recurring character in his unlife. Sought to aid his newfound friend, Bishop Gabriella, in recovering from the trauma of the Abyss. And let's just say they grew close, but never physically close, and never anything spoken. Lots of unspoken closeness happened. And she disappeared, as far as I knew, after declaring her love in a letter. And events took us to Transylvania. That's actually more of Emmy's story than mine. There he was lord of Bistreets for several centuries until treachery led that circumstance to come to an end. And most recently we find ourselves at the Council of Thorns, and that's kind of where we find Pax now.
Any questions for Pax? Or about Pax, I should say. No, none are required.
None.
Don't think so. Me?
Yeah.
All right. So, Emmeline Rice was born on October 5th, 1173. She was born to a man who, her mother died in childbirth, and her father was one of the priests in a church in Spain. She's a Spaniard. She's typical look of a Spaniard, dark hair, petite features. She was very much into, well, she still is, very much into drawing and crafting things on paper and pencil or charcoal. And writing is another one, big one of her skills that she has. She her father passed away when she was about 23, and a family friend, who I can't remember the name of, he invited her to this retreat where she met Jacob and Pax and was betrayed by this family friend that I cannot think of his name right now.
Alan's good. You've got it written down.
Oh, probably. She
I have the name Alden.
Yeah, that sounds right. Alden was the person that was kind of like her godfather, I guess, with, not words from the 1100s, but what we would nowadays call it, I guess. Invited to this retreat and betrayed, like I said, and became, was brought into this new life of non-death and trying to learn how to figure out her ways in a very how should I put it? A world where women are not supposed to say a whole lot. She had a whole lot to say. And she still does have a whole lot to say.
Yeah.
So she's not done yet. But Emmy grew up real quick.
Yeah.
She went with Pax and Jacob after we met Daniel Coronado. He taught us the ways of how to be a vampire. And we made our way to Constantinople, where we met Bishop Gabriella. We stayed at her keep, fixed it up, did what we could to help the community, had some run-ins with some crazy people who, what was his name? Bishop Alfonso. That guy's, ugh.
We need a course of that guy.
That guy. While in Constantinople, Emmy caught the eye of a human named David, who is a trader in silks, very wealthy. She met him, and he is much older than she is. He still is much older than she is, but at the time he didn't realize.
Much becomes pretty relative.
Well, relative when you now it's relative, but when Emmy met him, she was a vampire and he was not, and so she it took her some time to finally trust him after being betrayed by Alden and someone who said that they cared for her. It took her some time. I think oh my gosh, I don't even know, almost 100 years or something. He cared and loved for her enough that he asked her to marry him. And then she had to tell him what the heck was going on. He totally believed her, which blew her away. She was not prepared for him to be so accepting.
Like, I accept you. It's
Yeah.
an unholy monster. Surely God has a plan for you.
Yeah, exactly. Emmy also then, after...
Still love Jesus, right? Okay,
yes.
good enough for me. I'm
Yes.
done.
Yes. So he professed his love, and she said, yeah, okay, but not yet. And then Emmy, Jakub, and Pax had to go to this keep where we found these not gold tablets or
Clay tablets.
clay tablets and a golden key disc that we found after taking over this keep to build it up for this village in
That we did not give to. Who
that
was
we
it
did
came
not.
looking for it? I
Yes.
forget. Who came in one of the
I don't know,
tablets.
but we gave him a fake set of tablets.
Well,
I'm fairly sure it was Zarzeshku.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay. So we gave him
It was
a.
Maria. Or Marie?
I don't know.
We met her. No, she was. They were already down there. Marie
That's the other
and.
name.
Yeah, never mind. No.
The bird
No.
chick?
No.
No,
That's not the
No,
bird chick.
no.
No.
Run.
No.
That's the bodega.
No.
Shut up.
No.
No, I know who I know who you're talking about, but I can't
I
remember.
swear her name is Marie.
It could be Marie, but she was the
No.
one that helped us. There was a man and a woman that helped us recover the tablets, and we recreated them and gave them to the other person
Yes.
that came because we didn't trust
So
him.
the two who helped you were Anatole and Lucita.
Thank you, Lucita.
I want to point out now that it took until after the V5 game was finished for me to slip up and call the Botanica the bodega.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we've all done it.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
No, it was Zarzeshku who came
Okay.
to collect them.
So, and we gave him a reproduction. We kept the originals. We gave him a reproduction, and we did not show him or talk to him about the golden disc. We kept that a secret as well, because
game secret.
Yeah.
Game secret.
because we didn't trust him. I didn't trust him, and so after having this keep and keeping the village safe and doing what we needed to do there, we moved on to B Streets and I can't remember the place they was made.
Dude, you're in charge of Belgrade.
Belgrade, that's right,
Yeah.
Belgrade. So
Which in our fictitious version of the World of Darkness is now the library city.
yes, because that's where we built all the libraries with my
Well,
friend.
and you have all those
And we have all the
monastics.
books from. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah, we don't have to get into
Emmy's
all
had a
that.
whole lot of done.
We played this game for a long time.
Yeah.
We're just trying to get our palates wet. That's what we're doing.
So Emmy is now in charge of Belgrade. She still is to this day. Her and her husband David are Baron and Baroness of Belgrade. And Emmy has a short fuse sometimes and will kill people on a whim, which she's done many times and does not feel bad about it at all.
Well, a few times. When you consider she's been around like 400 years, it's not, actually hasn't been that long.
Well, I know.
Well, like 300 years.
But
so.
yes, when Pax and Jakub were betrayed and the brouhaha with all of that, and their spots were taken away, they now live in Belgrade with me. We have plenty of room, and we're trying to figure out. And now we're at the what is it called?
Council of Thorns.
Council of the Thorns. So yeah,
In Thorns.
in Thorns.
Convention of Thorns.
Yeah. So that's the short version of them.
Anybody
She could
got-
go on.
Anybody got any questions about any?
Nope.
No required. Oh, you got one?
What would you say has driven Emmy through since the beginning of this whole conquest or this whole like?
Oh, she's
Life.
gonna find Aldine and kill him. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. On the way, she's just, doing what she can to be a good wife and king, sort of.
And by good wife, you mean ruler of a city-state and
Yes.
master physician and scribe.
Yes.
Wife.
Just
Wife. Oh, yeah, and she wrote a lot of medical books under a
Yep.
fake name. So, yeah, she's just going to do a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Okay. I play Thomas Nonatus, a Mason who came from Central Europe. He traveled to Constantinople for work and to visit his brother. Upon his arrival, shortly after, he discovered his brother was dead, but in finding this information, he found some new allies. The rest of the group packs Emmy and Jakub. From there, he remained as a human for, I believe, about a couple years, about 15 years, I think it was, before being embraced into the clan Tsimishi. Shortly after, he started his own, he accompanied them on their travels for a while, and after Emmy took control over Belgrade, he took to constructing various buildings and such for her and other king knights, like the hospital and library at Belgrade, the secret area beneath the library, the walls of Klausenberg, and later on the Crimson Estate that we stayed at for the Council of Thorns later.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Ooh, tell us about your wacky
The cultists.
hedge mage cultists.
Yeah, I received after a short stint in the Dolan Wood, I know.
It was like 30 years.
Yeah,
No,
Sure.
no, it was short for us.
sure.
We were dead for 30 years.
Yeah, we were lost for 30 years in the Dolan Wood.
So easy to be dead.
But after we were rescued, a few of the
No, we were dead. He found the guys.
yeah,
The
Who?
cultists.
Sorry, who? Jakub?
Jakub
Jakub
found
found
the
the
cultists.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
And he made them help him raise us from our torpor.
okay, yeah,
And then they just became your cultists.
yeah. And then I asked them if they wanted to tag along, and then they stuck around, and I turned them. Well, didn't turn them, but
You
using
fascinated them with your occult powers and your
the powers of
your
science.
blood.
Knowledge.
I offhandedly commented that the blood is the life, and that became one of their mantras.
Yeah, blood is alive.
That they've said for a while now.
Yeah, a few hundred years.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know why.
Yeah.
Well, they know
Besides
why.
fact,
They've got
it's
a
true.
whole litany of
Yeah.
dogma
Yeah.
because of this and this and this and this and this and this.
And we're just like, well, you're not wrong.
You want to go at it?
Leifbog Gunderagson was born in the early 1100s in Denmark. Started out life as a simple farmer. Nonetheless, obsessed with listening to the ancient sagas and the tales of the gods, and was an ardent worshiper of Odin and Thor. Nonetheless, led a simple life and married, had 3 children, 2 daughters and a son, and all that changed when he was in his late 30s, and a plague struck his village, and his entire family died except for him. And he took that as a sign that he needed to go start a new phase of his life, and joined a group of Viking raiders going into the Mediterranean. Even though at the time he wasn't a particularly good fighter. As fate would have it, a storm struck as they were nearing the coast of Greece, and the entire ship went down. Everybody on the ship died except for Leifar. And he washed up on the shore and was found, as it happens, by a gangrel vampire who then proceeded to turn him, embrace him, and gave him very sketchy information about the entire process of vampiric life, just enough for him to survive, and then left. And for the next 20 years, he wandered the wilderness on his own, subsisting mainly on animal blood and that kind of thing. Eventually, he would reapproach civilization, and he started hearing rumors that there were vampires in Constantinople. And so he decided to go to Constantinople. Of course, people in that part of the world at the time didn't call them vampires, but that was the word that his people used. So, traveled to Constantinople, and about that time he met up with the rest of the group as they were leaving, and signed on as their guide through the wilderness to Transylvania.
Actually, didn't David find you and hire you for us?
Yes.
He was
I
hired.
thought I remembered that.
Yes.
Yep.
And I liked the group, and we eventually stayed together. And eventually, when we saved the keep at the pass,
Tahuta Pass.
at the Huda Pass,
Yeah.
and we were all given our own little fiefdoms. Leifar took over the city of Klausenburg as prince, and really, he took his responsibility very seriously, and decided it was his responsibility to protect the people of Klausenburg. And a number of things happened. One, he discovered that the easiest way to keep undesirable elements out was through fear and superstition. And so he developed the alter ego, I guess you could say, of the devil of Klausenburg. What did this mean exactly? Well, basically, the first time that this alter ego came out was when a group of criminals moved into Klausenburg and decided that they were going to take over the merchant trade there. The next morning, they were all found dismembered in the middle of the town square. And everybody knew who had done it. Leifar spent a number of years searching the wilderness, looking for different things. A number of what would later become significant things that came out of this, searching the wilderness around Klausenburg. First, he found the tomb of Lord
Balsa.
At the time, he did not disturb it. He knew, he could tell that it was a Semitic tomb of some sort, and that there was an ancient being inside, and he left it alone. He also met up with the witch Radamula, who he discovered had similar goals to his own, protecting the people, protecting the land. Eventually, they would marry and would be married for 200, 300 years.
Are they not anymore?
Well, technically they still are, although she left this world and traveled into,
Oh, did she?
as she described it, another plane.
I forget. I don't remember that.
Yeah, she's.
Basically, this world's getting too
She said that this world is getting too
regimented,
too controlled,
Yeah.
they forget the old ways, and they're leeching magic away from the world. And so she went somewhere, and it's been a long time, and I don't know if it was completely gotten, but I'm going to go ahead and reveal it. She was laying hints that the place she was going to was Horizon. There was a bunch of stuff about Horizon.
Yeah, I remember that.
And she said that she went to the Horizon.
Before that happened, another major turning point happened that involved her was I don't remember what the catalyst for the particular incident was. We were having some trouble with the voivode, and they had asked us to do something. Yeah, this is when they asked us to go take care of the Inquisitors, and Leifar was feeling conflicted because he felt like he was being treated as an underling, and he went and consulted with Radamula and asked her for advice. And she summoned a being made of pure lightning who spoke with a voice of thunder that he took to be Thor, who told him that he needed to embark upon a new path. He took that to heart. And at the time, we went down and we helped out the people that they wanted us to help out. And it turned out there was a group of ravenous gypsies that were being harassed, and their human kin. And about the time we were there, a group of Inquisitors showed up. And rather than try and escape or try and talk his way out or something else, Lifeguard decided to embrace the beast within for the first time since he ever really done it, and completely went berserk. And woke up several days later.
Yeah, for a gangrel, Lifeguard is pretty controlled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And woke up several days later and discovered that the voivode had taken away Klausenberg as his fiefdom, but he had decided at that point that he did not care. He embarked on this new path. That his goal in life was to experience all there is that life has to offer. And one of the things that he started was to expand his knowledge of the world. And in that regard, he had Emmy teach him how to read and began studying vociferously in the library. Just gaining all the knowledge he could. In the next few years, he spent a lot of time traveling around Europe, gaining knowledge.
Learned a bunch of languages too, didn't you?
Learned a bunch of new languages. Eventually, when the group came back together, for the Council of Thorns, the last thing that happened was that the voivode decided that they wanted everybody to swear a blood bond and to take the blood of the blood of Vostokovich.
More specifically, the voivode of voivodes, Vladimir Rustakovich.
Lifeguard refused on what he thought was very reasonable grounds. He'd served the voivode for 3 centuries, honorably, without a blood bond. Why suddenly now? Magical insurance policy, he didn't use those words. And he refused. And Rostakovich proceeded to banish him, which Lifeguard actually finds kind of amusing. This is how you banish somebody who can just disappear in the wilderness. And that's kind of where we are now.
All right, anybody got any Lifeguard questions? I got a question.
Yeah.
Why is he so controlled?
Actually kind of tried to lose that over the last few years.
Yeah, but before that, he was very controlled. And like you worked real hard not to go on Frenzy Town.
Yeah, that was the way. Because that was the way it was brought up. You don't lose your temper. You don't.
The Nordic Stoicism. Yeah.
Yes, the Nordic Stoicism.
Nordic Stoicism. Yeah, I like that.
Exactly.
That's cool.
He's all, man, I had teenagers. This frenzy thing.
He's all
nothing.
shushta. That's what my Nordic friend taught me to say that. Shushta. Just means bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, for a side note for anyone listening, oh my goodness, the cedar pollen. So you're probably going to.
Oh yeah, we're so sorry about the coughing and the hacking and the all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Seriously.
really terrible and it totally dominates the microphone and I hate it, but that's life.
Go
So
find a video
the
of
other
Austin cedar
thing is-
pollen and it'll blow
We
your
haven't
mind.
mentioned yet. About the time that the anarchs started running rampant all over Europe, and supposedly one of the Smitsi elders was killed. Lifeguard brought up the subject, which he had never mentioned before, of the ancient one buried in the tomb near
this is-
Klausenberg.
This is worth saying. Yeah, this is important.
The group was somewhat surprised, of course, because they didn't know anything about it. And we went up and proceeded to awaken this ancient one. He turned out to be
Lord Valsa. Valsa. It sounds like salsa, but it has a V.
These people like to
Lord
say
Valsa
Valsa.
is in
Valsa.
part of the ancient Smitsi clan. Before the Smitsi practiced vicissitude, he's been in torpor for centuries.
The old blood.
Mm-hmm.
And he was grateful to us for helping him. We also discovered treachery among the voivode, which we told him about, and he proceeded to do something about it. What was the guy's name? Dragomir.
Dragomir.
Oh, he snuffed him out.
Dragomir.
Dragomir.
Appropriately enough, got turned into chunky salsa.
By Balsa.
Balsa.
Dragomir was a freaking lunatic and wanted us to join him.
He had eaten his.
Dragomir Balsarab.
And we had just had a meeting with Lord Volsa. And as Dragomir is in the middle of the meeting,
I used my pager.
yeah, Pax and I kind of had the same idea. 'Cause I was thinking, how am I going to get out of here?
Yeah.
And then Pax had the same idea, and he's like, no, I just summoned him.
Yeah.
And he came back, and we told him what happened, and he was none too pleased that this guy was bringing dishonor and disgrace upon the Smitsi clan.
Well, and also like betraying the Transylvanian people.
Betraying the
Yeah.
Transylvanian people.
Oh, Lord
Yeah.
Balsa, how fortuitous that you should arrive at this juncture. So, Basarab here has an interesting proposal for you.
Yeah.
And then he poured into his mind and ripped all its
Well, because
secrets out.
Balsarab was specifically trying to entice you guys to join him on his quest to diabolarize the eldest.
Yes.
And he was like, what? No.
So at that point,
No for
Lord
200
Volsa
Alex.
began to initiate us into the Talmud Ra.
Ooh. People out there hate that. And it's okay to be wrong.
Hey,
Oh, and we also found out that David was a member of the Hand.
Yeah, he had become a member
He
of
had
the
become a
Hand.
member of the Hand
Been
in
the whole
secret
time.
all along.
So
That's how he became a vampire in the first
all of us
place.
know- all of us know a little necromancy.
Just a smidge. This is the biggest secret in the game.
And yeah,
Like, this is the kind of
This
stuff
is
that if
so-
this came out of the Convention of Thorns, like, everyone would be fucked.
yeah. And interestingly enough, one of the last things that happened at the Convention of Thorns is I was having a discussion with two Asamites, two Banu Hakim, and one of them put up the sign of the Talmud Ra as I was ending our conversation.
My sign. little
And
rascal
so we
reference there.
have
So specifically, he did not do this in such a way that he was like, that you felt like he was trying to indicate something to you. He was just gesturing, right? And that sign was on his palm. So you know something that he doesn't.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. That was not like the secret handshake. That was just, and like more specifically, the mark that you guys have a mark too, but your mark can only be seen in the underworld. You have to have necromancy to see it. His is like scarred
Like carved
physically into his palm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So it's a different thing.
Sounds like
But that
that.
leads us into some
As
NPCs.
I recall, though, when I looked at it with Shroud Side, I could see that it was visible in the underworld also.
You never looked at it with you wanted to. That was going to be one of the next things you were going to try to do.
Oh,
Many months ago.
Yeah.
About 8.
I was going to say.
Back in May 31st.
regardless, I had agreed to speak up for the benefit of the council.
Cool. We're gonna get deep into that. Let's start at the beginning, though. We're gonna go through.
There's this guy.
No.
No.
Go to the beginning, please.
That is the beginning.
No. One. There you go.
What?
Folder one.
Number
In
one.
the folder.
Okay. Put them up. Can you do them full row?
Yeah.
All right.
That's-
So this is the first folder is your entourage of people that you've brought with you, or at least the key NPCs that you brought with you. And this is Magda.
Yeah. Magna.
Does anybody remember Magda?
Yes.
Oh yes, she was one of the first friendly people we met in Constantinople. In fact, her and Mouse and Antonius were
Antonius.
early friends of ours. We sheltered in their cistern where they took shelter because for those that weren't paying all that close attention, we were sent there to go and ally ourselves with Bishop Gabriella, but she had been kidnapped, and so that option was not available to us.
At the moment.
Magda and Mouse were Cadith, and Mouse has been killed. He
Mouse
is
was killed,
long
yes.
dead, but Magda's still
He
around.
was avenged.
He was avenged.
He was avenged.
Yeah, we got that.
And
right.
Emmy fixed Antonius's.
Well, we'll get to him.
We'll get to him. There's Antonius.
This
right
Antonius. He is the Nosferatu that was a part of that group. They were called the Genosian Lost.
there. Yes. And we were the first vampires to actually befriend them and not treat them horribly, so they kind of hang with us.
They kind of hang with
Yeah.
you now, yeah. And what's special about Antonius?
He used to be mute.
He has a beautiful scene.
He has
Now
a
he has
beautiful singing voice.
Yes.
Emmy fixed his pipes.
Yep.
Yep. Though he still definitely has the.
He still definitely has the Nosferatu.
rictus.
Yeah,
But he can sing.
he's not a
but
good-looking fellow, but he can
He's
sing.
a criminal.
He can sing.
Yeah.
And he's a gentle giant.
Mhm.
He will
Yes.
crush a skull when
Yeah,
he
he
needs
will
to.
When
crush
he
you.
needs to, yeah.
And there's David.
David De Leon,
Yeah.
the secret spy master of your group,
Yes.
wheeling and dealing in secret.
Public spy master.
Look at
Yeah.
those legs.
I know. Look at those legs and those tights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It commands power.
Booyah.
No, this is the
I know.
the era in time when people realized men kind of have nice calves.
Yeah.
That's why they have those wacky pointy shoes, was to emphasize their calves.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's legit. I'm not going to wear them anytime soon, but that's why.
yeah.
Is there a person there?
And that's
Picture of Sasquatch.
Yeah.
what is this?
I don't know.
Can you read it?
I believe that's in the regrettable. I can't read it. But
No, it
Clan
is not.
Shemisi Ghoul something.
Goo NH.
oh.
Is that
He looks like a giant.
Houndmaster.
Oh.
Oh.
Yes, Master.
Yes.
Houndmaster
Bradovich.
Bradovich. That's right. That's my guy.
Yes.
I just see GHO and then an OU and then H, so I didn't have.
Oh yeah, it's cutting it off.
Who am I looking at here? Oh, that's Bradovich.
There he is.
Bradovich and his 9,000 dogs or whatever, or they seem like 9,000 dogs, but
Yeah,
they're-
that's just because they're jumping. They're
Yes,
everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Dude, those are serious dogs. They're
Yeah.
Uh huh. They will rip you to
Yeah.
shreds.
His dogs are for real.
my
Yes.
guy.
Okay, next one.
Okay, so that's who
Camarilla
came with
founders.
us.
Now we're looking at members of
The
the
Camarilla.
the convention, and these are the Camarilla founders.
Okay.
Here, I need to get the names out, so
That's
they're not showing up easily.
Adana.
I have it. That is Adana de Seprosa of Clan Bruja.
And remind me, what was her interaction with her? Was she the lady that was like the announcer at the beginning? Or
No, she is not.
No,
No,
okay.
she is not. She's one of the founders, yeah. That is Milov Petenkov
He's
of
a
Clan
gangrel.
Gangrel. Look at his pointy ears.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the angle. It's a thing.
And then that there is, let me see here,
It starts with this.
Camilla Baines of
yes.
Clan Malkavian.
Yes. I had her name somewhere.
That one is Josef van Bjaren of Clan Nosferatu.
I've been copying so much, I have a 6-pack under this fat. Just so you know. And this is
Rafael de Corazon of Clan Toreador. The beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Rafael.
of course he's Toreador.
Yes. Well, he's above and beyond. And here you have Mistress Van Schoen of Clan Tremere. And the great Harstadt of Clan Ventru.
Yes.
You guys remember anything about any of those folks that...
Trying to remember.
Bits and pieces.
I mean,
Okay.
Harstadt's the
I was like, he's
Harstadt's the
Real-
architect.
the
of-
beginning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Idea of mastering.
Yeah, he's the one who came up with this whole idea of the Camarilla.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't Harstadt the elder supposed was killed by the anarchs, and this is the son of the anarchs?
No, this is Harstadt, the original.
Oh, okay.
So everyone says.
Ah, okay.
All right, and then we're gonna go on to
Yeah, you guys didn't quite know too much about those guys.
Archons.
The Archons, you knew probably even less about.
Yeah.
That one is Lilika Kairos of Clan Bruja. Here you have, who is it? Federico of Padua of Clan Nosferatu. That one is Father Jean-Marc de Haufer of Toreador. He came up and talked to you guys. And was like petitioning you to be like, oh yeah, see the sense of it. Like, the camera was a good idea. And then you have Gilbert de Haufer, his cousin of Clan Venture. You never really interacted with him.
They
All
come
right,
together.
now we get to the interesting stuff. You guys are kind of on the periphery. All right. This will involve some flipping on my part. So here you have Patricia of Bolingbroke,
Clan Bruja.
of Clan Bruja.
Clan
Yeah.
Nosferatu.
Yeah, we know this guy.
Bishop D'Alfonso of
Bishop
Venice.
asshole.
Prick.
Yeah.
Clan La Sombra. This is.
Let me
Friar
see.
Tuck. I don't
Do
know.
what you have to do.
It just says FR.
I was relying on us being able to read the titles.
Well, I probably can't. So, looking at the anarchs here. Let's do this.
Whoop, whoop,
Bleh.
whoop.
Maybe that.
Whoa!
That's better.
Fray Diego.
There you go.
Fray Diego.
You guys didn't have too many interactions with him,
No,
but he's a guy.
He's a man.
he is a man.
He has a plan. This one is
Gabriel.
better off this way.
Oh, I remember this guy.
That's not.
Gabriel Baruch.
Yeah.
I don't remember this guy.
Who do you remember?
I'm trying to remember, but for some reason that picture and that name sounds familiar. But I don't remember why.
If I remember correctly, he was one of the. You guys were kind of trying to talk with Alfonso and Gabriela about what was what and what was what, and he was the La Sombra guy who was like, yeah, anarchs, dude.
Oh,
he was
yeah,
like
okay.
super into it.
Okay.
Super anarch.
There's your girlfriend.
Gabriella.
Yep, Bishop Gabrielle of Genoa, Queen of the Abyss and Bride of Cain,
Yep.
with her gooey eyes and everything.
That's right. We'll fix you right up.
Yeah. Who is that one?
That is.
That is.
Up there at the top.
A very Italian name.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gian Gilazzo. Yeah, I think he's another La Sombra you guys didn't interact with much.
And number 7.
Oh, that's Sasha
Lucy. Yeah.
and Micah
Micah
Vikos.
Who just last night
Ripped off his genitals.
ripped off his genitals and
Yes.
threw them at Harstadt.
Yes, I do remember that because we were like,
How can you forget?
yeah.
Micah, we wouldn't have forgotten you anyway, but now
Yeah.
we extra.
Now we
never
really will
forget
never
you.
forget you.
Because you guys have a long history with that
Yes,
gentleman.
Yes.
We do.
Gentle
Person.
like even that, like. Okay. Anyways,
Oh,
onward.
Micah.
Old friends.
Old friends.
Lucita.
La Suite de Argon
Yes.
of Clan La Sombra.
Remember her. Anatole.
Oh,
Anatole
Anatole.
of
Yeah.
Clan Malkavian. Those were the two that helped you
With the clay tablets.
with the clay tablets and whatnot,
At ours.
and with a few other things. They brought you word of the anarchs and
Yes.
prophecy of what was going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Undergoes our invitation to this very event.
Master Zelios,
Master Zelios.
the master builder of Clan
The stone
Nosferatu.
master.
Yes, the
Master
stone
Mason.
master. Yes. Master Mason.
Ketal, the
yes.
serpent.
Ketal, yes.
He and I have business to attend to.
Yes.
Oh, we have business.
Oh, I had
It's been a long time coming.
Daniel Coronado.
Daniel Coronado of Clan Toreador.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, nobody but me has actually met Ketal as Ketal. You did? When did you?
He did.
There.
At
At the
Council of
Actually,
Florence?
no. I
Before
met
that,
him.
I thought.
Yeah, the first meeting we had between. Well, it was just with
at Hartstedt?
all those guys at Harstadt's Manor. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
You have all met him,
That's
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
talked to him. That's right.
but you met him as the keeper of the proprietor of the Silk Road, Petrov.
Yeah.
Ah, well, there you go.
Now we have all these guys. And this is
All right.
Hussein
Al-Fatin. Hussein Al-Fatin.
We met
helped,
him.
Yes, he helped you deliver Goriatrix
Oh yes.
to the Tremere.
He was originally dropped. No, his number was, yeah.
What?
Either did we give Goriatrix to him? I think
No, he had him
He
had
brought
and gave
him.
him to you.
Mm-hmm.
Him and another guy, but that guy's not around right now. And he's been the one like speaking up for the Assamites a bunch.
And then we have
Karith
Oh, that's the other guy,
Al-Numar,
right?
or Numer. So Karith
Wasn't he the
Al-Numer.
other guy that was with?
Yeah, he's the other guy who's been
Yeah.
hanging out with Hussein.
Yeah,
and
Al-Fatin.
he is surly.
Yeah.
He is a surly fellow, and he does not much like anything that's going on here or much of anyone around here. But with a few well-placed words of malice, he made some friendly gestures towards Lefar, and had a weird thing on his hand.
so who knows what's going on with that guy.
Eleanor de Valois is the moderator and speaker
That's right. Yeah.
of Clan Bruja.
Yep.
She's the MC.
Yeah, she's the MC. Fiden Montalis.
Oh yes.
Do you remember who he is?
Yes. A sucker.
A sucker. Why is he a sucker?
Sucker. He is who my uncle wanted me to be.
Yes, he is.
Uh-huh.
And speaking of,
There's the guy.
blam.
Oh, there's Lux.
He's gonna die.
He claims to be repentant. Remember that?
Yeah.
He had a whole thing where he was telling you that he was repentant of his evil ways of the past, and he's raised Fiden, in his in the likeness and the way that he should have raised you, and all this crap, and he begged for your forgiveness.
Yes, I do remember that.
Tiberi of Clan Gangrel. He was the guy who was the stagecoach driver for a lot of your exploits when you were messing around with the Cathedral of Flesh. He helped you out with Dracula.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, back when the Cathedral of Flesh diablerized the Shemisi clan elder.
Yes.
We didn't mention that little bit
No.
in our
Yeah.
introductions.
Yeah.
Probably because it was too horrifying.
Yorick the Elder got totally eaten by a living building.
Yes.
Totally got ganked by a building made of a bunch of vampires who are still alive.
Torvus Bloodbeard of Clan Gangrel.
Well, he looks like a gangrel, don't he?
Yeah, he came as a neutral party, but not long after arriving started to go like, these anarchs are kind of all right. Unmata, the Malkavian, you guys don't know anything about Unmata.
Besides, how does he talk?
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't.
He takes him out,
Yeah.
And then sticks him back in.
sticks him back in when he's done.
The Santasina.
I know nothing about this person.
La Santasina, the Clan Malkavian. She's hanging out with Unmata.
Wow, yeah.
Durga Sin.
She the crazy old lady.
Yup.
The
Somebody
crazy.
I think you talked to her.
The one with the crystals on her back?
No.
No.
No, she's a Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a Ravnos lady.
Somebody
Oh,
was talking
Ravnos.
to her. I don't remember who or why. It just came up.
Yeah.
Fava Samuel. Isn't
Yeah.
he the host?
He's the host,
Yeah.
So I thought.
but he's pro Camarilla.
Bishop Sorondo.
Who is that?
Who is that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to kill him too.
What did he do last time? Do you remember?
I know I had words with him.
He offered to forgive everything and let you back formally into Clan Tremere.
Yeah. And that was a big fuck no.
Yeah.
You
You're all-
told him
That's
to eat it.
That's no for $500, Alex.
You're all ha ha ha. Nope.
Not interested in any way.
Atreus, the first among equals. Do you guys remember him?
No.
He was the guy that you handed Goriatrix off to
Ah.
when you were returning them to Clan Tremere. And that's when you guys saw the vision of Tremere.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
saw
Oh
Tremere.
yes.
Oh, look. Count Radu.
Count Radu Bistri.
Yeah, Radu's all right. I did not feel bad about handing these streets back over to him.
You guys have been off and on with Radu.
Yeah.
Sometimes you like him, sometimes you don't.
I've always respected
I
him.
think for the most part we were.
She didn't like him.
No, I
She
didn't
came
like
on
him
to
because he
too
came.
strong.
Yeah, well, he
He came on to her. too
he came
strong.
on way too strong, and I was like, dude, back off.
You're all
There was
right.
also some question, Beryl, like, where does this lie with all the Voivode stuff? 'Cause you guys have had a
Yeah.
rocky relationship with the Voivode.
Yeah.
This is one of the entourage of Shamisi that arrived late.
Don
Ronzi. The something of Russ.
The Butcher of Rus.
Oh.
He is said to have been slaying Ventry in great numbers in, southern Russia.
He looks
And what
like it.
would be the Ukraine, I guess.
Yeah.
Number 16. This would be
Mierke Zardeshku.
Oh, yes.
He is the Western ambassador of the Voivode to the rest of, Cainite society, and he has a taste for young people,
Yes, he does.
and he's creepy.
Everybody here loves him.
Regardless, and he was the one who was handing out like your punishments,
Yes.
like taking away your fiefdoms
Yeah,
and
the
all that
fiefdoms.
stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he even though there's like an enmity and a hatred, he has kind of taken your side on several occasions.
Yeah, we may not like him, but he has kind of been an ally to us.
Yeah, he's one of those people that were like, we don't like him, but he's on our side.
Yeah.
It's okay. I made him drink my blood. He loved it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Shagra.
knows this person.
I don't remember her.
Zooming in doesn't help.
She's got a bikini. Shagra is the wolf woman of the south.
Oh.
She has been calling up. He's falling asleep. But Leifar has had conflict with her over the packs of wolves throughout the lands.
Oh, that's
because she's
right.
commanding the wolves all over the place.
Yes.
And Belia the Flare.
He's somebody you guys maybe have heard about but don't know much about.
Looks like such a nice flare too, doesn't
Yeah, he does.
he? Well, gentlemanly and dapper.
Yeah.
Oh, he's definitely got that sniveling like voice of like, yeah, just cut it out.
I do so enjoy a good flaying.
Yes.
Quite.
Quiet, yes.
Oh, Rustikovich.
Rostakovich.
Yeah, screw that guy.
Oh, we love him.
He is the man.
You have to love him.
Well, maybe we don't love him, but we respect. Great.
Vladimir Rustikovich.
Unless you're Leifar. You're like,
Yeah.
fuck that guy.
Yeah.
He's also the guy who walks around wearing a cloak made of werewolf pelts.
Yes.
Yeah, you can go watch the sunrise for all I care.
Zemchev.
Matthias.
I don't know who this guy is.
Oh, I don't know how I forgot to label that one. I'm not sure who that is either.
It just says.
I said
not
this
Teus.
game would be a mess, and it is.
Hey man, holding it together pretty well.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember who that is.
I have to apologize too because I've been oddly punchy all day for as crappy as I feel. I think it's the drugs.
Drugs are good.
Nothing. Yes.
Drugs are good.
All right, you got any more, or is that it?
There's
One more.
Oh, that's just nothing. That should be it.
That is it.
Okay.
And hey, in the future, should you ever want to show stuff that's on your phone, assuming it's got Type-C, a really easy way to do it.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're just going to breeze through this whole thing.
I like breezes.
And I'm going to summarize what has happened on the various days.
Before you do that, I need to pee.
All right, we'll pause it and we'll take a break.
All right.
It's probably enough stuff to warrant a break.
Quick potty break.
So my thought was to just like do a summary of each day. We'll start with the ones we've already done and we'll kind of like reminisce a little bit on what we've done, but not too much detail. And then before I introduce a new day, we're just gonna like summarize. I don't think we're gonna role play. We're just gonna like, okay, and everybody can do a thing on a day. If you want to do an extra thing, then you have to have a horrible thing happen to you.
I can't think of any extra things yet, but I kind of want a horrible thing to happen to me.
Well, I mean, it's starting to, it's coming down. The other thing that you can do is you can get a like a check-in litmus test on, you know, whatever characters within reason you want to. So you can just be like, okay, where's this person? Like, what's going on with this person? What's going on with that person? And I'll give you a little brief summary rundown, like this person is this. Or if it's somebody that you don't know, you can find out about them. Or if it's somebody you do know, you can be like, what are they dealing with or doing or whatnot? And it might not be anything. I might not be creative about this at all. Also, there's lots of people who are here besides these characters. Lots. And as we go playing into the future, what we'll do is with these characters and with other NPCs that you will meet, they'll come up and be like, ah, yes, we met at the Convention of Thorns, remember? And then we'll do us a little flashback and role play out some of what happened at the convention. And that'll be fun. Mm-hmm. So, the first day, on October the 18th of 1493, the convention begins in the courtyard of the Abbey of the Sacred Crown. Yes, I'm reading this off the wiki. With the chosen moderator of Eleanor de Valois opening the session by explaining the issues and introducing the founders of the Camarilla by name and clan to the assembled delegates. The predominant attitude of the attendees was one of cautious probing of enemy position while readying for attack. After this introduction, attendees broke into smaller groups to discuss what they had heard. In smaller groups, some individuals became willing to speak their minds. The specific issues suggested by the moderators were, should general amnesty be granted to those whose actions led others astray, or should the leaders surrender themselves to judgment to the Camarilla's founders and their archons? Should the Assamite remain an independent clan of the Camarilla and refuse to subject themselves to its rulings? If they do remain apart, how may we ensure that their practices pose no future threat to us? Should the current system of governance, Justicars and Archons, continue, and shall the current holders of these positions remain in office? If not, who will be the new Justicars? How we will select the future Justicars and what will be their duties and responsibilities. We will appoint a council to observe the Justicars, or shall these Justicars serve as the highest authority of the Camarilla? And you guys talked with a couple more people and chit-chatted with some people. This is when we found out about the weird scar on the dude's hand, on Al-Fatin's hand. And is that the name? Did I get it right?
Al-Fatin or the other guy?
It was the guy that was.
Let me get it right. Let's get it right. It's got to come out.
It was the more handsome guy. He was the second guy. He was the one who was all like dour and unpleasant.
Yes, the unpleasant guy. Al-Namir.
Yeah.
Karif Al-Namir. Yes. And also when you saw Gabriella return, having thought her dead for quite some time, and now seeing her in the throes of abyssal devastation. And Micah Vico showed up
Of course he did.
and started referring to himself as Sasha, which you know specifically to be the name of his sister that died defending Tehuta Pass some years ago. And you noted that he was way different than you had remembered him. Like
Traumatized, man.
really, really different.
Yeah.
And something was up. He started to operate on the general assumption that you guys thought that the Anarchs were amazing. And you guys, to my memory, did not give him a lot of indication that you didn't feel that way.
That the Anarchs were amazing?
Yeah. He was like, oh yeah, the Anarchs are basically great. And you're like, yeah. With your big grin. Yeah. So there was some questioning and some weirdness there.
In the side eye.
The side eye.
He's the Peruvian monkey.
Yeah. Then, October 19th, the results of the previous night's discussions were summarized by the Assembly. Micah Vakos made an impassioned speech in the favor of the goals of the Anarchs. Harstadt countered with an insistence on the necessity for discipline within the clans and demanded a return to the hierarchy of rule by age and generation. At some point during the convention, not long after that, Micah Vakos threw his genitalia into the face of Harstadt.
Yeah.
It is possible that this occurred during the exchange between the two of them, and it did. Also, what else happened that day? Was the entourage of the Voivode arrived with all those Shemisi falling under Rustikovich. Rustikovich, tired of this cat and mouse game, demanded your fealty. All of you gave it except for one, and you were bound to him as a voivode of voivodes. And you were, quote unquote, banished in Transylvania. And that's pretty much where we ended that thing. So, we come to the next day. So before reading the summarized events of what happens that day, do you guys want to do some things that day or check in on some people?
That is old.
No is an acceptable answer.
Yeah.
So, the scar on the end of this last night, what makes me think that it's the same
It is the same shape and dimension.
Okay.
It looks the same,
Okay.
but you can see it with your naked eye.
I'm gonna casually track them down again.
Just give me the gist of what you want to go down.
Okay.
You get to do a thing, and it's pretty much going to happen.
I'm gonna look at it with shroud sight and see if it shows up in the window.
Nope.
And I'm not saying anything about it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna basically have a conversation with him and tell him I still plan on speaking up on their behalf.
He's glad to have your support, and
So that
shakes your hand, and everything's cool.
Rushkovich told us to do something after all that was said and done, and I don't know if it was just to stay and listen.
Pretty much.
Basically.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So is Rustikovich the voivode of voivodes?
Yes.
Okay. Does Emmy do what? Yeah. So Emmy remembers a vision she had of the keeper.
Mm-hmm. The keeper.
The keeper.
The keeper of the library, specifically,
Yes.
from Constantinople.
Yes.
What? Oh. No, she's not like that guy.
No.
That guy ain't squat.
But she just remembers what she had said, what she had told Emmy about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that.
Okay.
I remember very well.
Did you share with anyone else?
Nope.
She has not shared it with
have
anybody
not
else.
shared
But share it
it
with
with
the group
anybody
because it's cool.
Okay. So Alan, way back long ago, gave Emmy, and I don't remember when this was because there's no date or anything on it, but I see a vision of the keeper, and the vision is a series of memories of me and her apart and together, working hard over the centuries to preserve the Grand Library and to protect the lands of our clan against foreign invaders. So many memories at once, and these are the words that I hear. Child, the voivode of voivodes approaches. You must obey his every wish without fail. We must protect our clan and our lands. Only he can save us. You must follow him. You must love him. It is the only way.
Flashback. Yeah, to put it into context, the guy that died was the previous voivode of voivodes, Yorak, who was...
He was eaten by the flesh.
He was the grandchilder. The huge mega fans are getting totally annoyed at me right now.
Yep.
He was either the childer or the grandchilder of the eldest. I think he was the childer of the eldest.
Okay.
Maybe the grandchilder. Yes. I
But
think-
currently, Rustikovich...
But then he got killed,
Yes.
and Rustikovich is Yorak's child.
Got it. Okay.
Or grandchild. There's something in there. I can't remember exactly.
It's
I
fine.
think it's a 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Hey man.
And so he's a big deal.
The fact that the mega fans are watching it all would be pretty cool.
It's not they're not listening, and I should
Yeah.
not worry at all because they're not listening.
I'm saying if they were, that'd be kind of cool.
It would be cool, but they're
There'd be more
not.
people listening.
They're not.
Purpose of these recordings and videos is to convince people that Dungeons and Dragons is not the only role-playing game.
Yes.
Compared to
Just by sheer existing.
compared to this game, Dungeons and Dragons ain't shit.
Yeah. Yep. So it sounds like nobody's got a whole lot. You remembered your vision.
No.
You checked in with Karif Al Numair, A-I-R. Numair. Anybody else want to do a thing?
I remember talking to Lady, what's her face? His name is literally was in here and I can't find it. The Tremere woman, and telling her what my sire Bishop Sarando had done to me.
Oh yeah, Mistress Fanchon
Yes,
of
Mistress
the Camarilla.
Yes, we had a whole conversation about
Yeah.
what he did to me. I want to talk to Ketal.
Uh-huh.
I want to ask Ketal if he can try to figure out like what she's doing about that. If she's making any conversation about that and understand that.
Are you gonna offer him anything in exchange?
In exchange,
A boon?
well, maybe a boon, but like if there's anything now I can do for him, if there's something he wants me to
Oh, he
listen
doesn't.
for.
He doesn't offer anything up.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, we'll give him a boon.
All right, you give him a boon. He will come back same day, no problem, and he will tell you that Mistress Fanchon is deliberating with other members of the Tremere about censuring him for embracing outside of the clan's dictates. And basically laying it on him that one of their big enemies is this errant member of their own clan.
Anything I can to bring him low.
He does offer to give you an additional piece of information for a second boon.
Fuck it, why not?
This is how it starts. He tells you that they are not planning on telling the Voivode what you really are, because they do not know yet. And
Several of them do.
and the Tremere don't know that they don't know yet. They are under the assumption that you're there under their good graces.
Oh, shit.
That the Voivode knows that you're a Tremere and they're just glad to have you. They don't actually know that you're not.
You realize how much you could shit all over several different parades.
Yes. Oh
Also,
my
that
gosh.
also means like how many different parades can shit on him.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
that
that's
too.
always been me, right?
That's always been there.
My life is don't get stepped on at the parade.
Yeah. You're
Okay.
not this? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to do this. Jakub. Katal, 2 boons. All right. Is anybody else going to do anything this day?
Yeah. You kind of a little bit stole my thunder, but not really. 'Cause I also wanted to talk to K-Top.
Do it. I just knew he was a useful
Makes
person
sense.
to talk
We're all
to.
friends.
He trades whispers.
Yes, he does.
It's literally in my book.
And I kind of want to just, fill him in. So I talked to my sire, who professes to be all penitent. Butter wouldn't melt in his mouth, and he's such a nice guy now. But I don't buy it for a second. So, I know you had plans for him. Should we start laying the groundwork?
Katal is all for wrecking him.
After the council.
Yeah.
Who would not want to be impolite to our host?
No, that would be a bad. He's like, that'd be a bad idea. There shouldn't be anybody who creates violence at this convention is sealing their own fate.
As long as we're agreed.
He's all about it. He hates his ass.
I don't believe he's reformed for even a fraction of a second.
Okay, anybody else? Okay.
Quick question.
Yes.
You remember.
So those are all the actions. Everybody's
Yeah.
taken their actions that they can take. You can ask about any of the NPCs right now. You don't have to. Just giving you the opportunity to be like, who's this? What's that? What's what?
I try not to be too obvious about my occasional, keeping an eye on checking in with Gabriella from across the way.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't hide it either.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
He
so
knows I'm there.
Dardeshku knows I'm Tremere.
Yes, Dardeshku knows.
Who else knows that I know knows?
Nobody. These guys.
Well,
Aside
and
from
him.
Yeah, these
I
guys.
think he's the only one.
He's the only one.
Oh,
You've
and
been
Katal.
masquerading as a venture
well,
for
and
so long.
And
Yes.
Katal knows.
And Katal knows.
Yeah.
Then again, he does deal in secrets.
Well, that's bad. No good.
Well, and now all of the Tremere here know.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Shit, I need to pull out this paper.
Okay.
Done here.
Any questions about NPCs? Things and stuff?
Eyeballing my own person, Sarando, what kind of things is he spouting today? Or who is he involving himself with? Just looking from a distance, as you know?
He is talking with all kinds of people, supporting Camarilla stuff. He is speaking out against the Assamites, calling them Diablerists and saying that they're a blood cult. And
Who is this?
this is Bishop Sarando, which is his Tremere.
Which is supremely ironic that that's coming from a Tremere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a point I was planning on making.
What a dick face.
No. Really?
Hey, Micah, you got any more genitals to throw at somebody? This guy needs
We need some more.
Yeah.
Well, you could flesh craft some.
Oh, I could. I absolutely could.
I want to whoop a whole uterus at him.
We'll just go back and forth.
Yeah. Internal
Okay.
plumbing, external
I take
plumbing.
it that's good. No questions about NPCs.
I don't know.
Oh, you got one?
No.
Okay, just make sure. So you are brought together to drink a second time.
Oh, I'm already marked.
Yeah.
Rush to COVID.
Yeah, Rustakovich.
I thought we'd already done. I don't know.
No, it takes 3 seperate nights.
Yeah, we did it once. This
You
is
did
the
it
second
once. This
time.
is the second one, and you're going to do it tomorrow too. But it's they're not hiding it. It's not like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe. No, he's like, no, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
And to set the stage, right? This is not a manipulation, right? This is the way things are.
Yeah.
Like, this is the way things go. And the fact that you've escaped quote unquote, escaped this for as long as you have has been a huge problem. Like, it's created all this division in Transylvania. They're like, people think that you're foreigners. They think that you're going to betray the voivodom, and it's been a huge problem.
Meanwhile, I'm just here like, well, you guys never asked.
Yeah.
Well,
You do this. I didn't know.
Ironically, that was never my plan, but maybe it is now.
yeah. My irony that I will share I'm still doing it, but I'm defiant of it because literally that's what I hate about those of my own blood and what they do among themselves. And they're literally doing what their enemies do.
Well, that is the type of thing that you can take an action on one of these days.
Yeah.
Meh.
A lot harder to do that after I'm bloodbound.
No, not necessarily. No,
Yeah.
not necessarily.
So
You could do it today and have something horrible.
I already have horrible things happen. I have
It's too late today. After the summary of the previous night's progress, Hussein al-Fatin, a delegate from the Assamites, spoke for his clan. A heated discussion followed, which Lanfar participated in, heatedly, during which Mistress Fanchon and the other Tremere in particular, called for strong measures to prevent the continued practice of diablerie. Mykovikos and some of his Anarch companions greeted her words with derisive comments in reference to Tremere's diablerie of Salot and the Giovanni diablerie of Cappadocius.
Damn right.
The point I wanted to make in that whole conversation
Yes.
was that why is it that the Tremere are getting a pass, where the Assamites are getting attacked as being Diabolers, and the Tremere are the most notorious Diabolers in the world. They murdered Salah, but somehow they're okay, but the Assamites know we have to punish them.
Oh, yeah. And Mykos is all like, my words exactly. You spoke well. And it just looks like they join in on you. They're like, yeah.
But I'm also making it clear that I don't harbor any ill will towards the Tremere.
Yeah, then
I'm simply making
that turns him against you.
I'm simply making a point. I'm not taking a side here. I'm illustrating hypocrisy.
That probably results in a little bit of discussion. Like the first half of that, like
I'll just fill this for you.
Vikos and his Anarchs are like, yeah. The second half, the Anarchs are like, no. But then the Camarilla kind of side up with you a little bit, and they're like, okay, so they're like, so obviously there's cause here for some degree of potential for like, we can forgive part of this. Rafael de Corazon, infinite, Catholic good boys. Like, oh, certainly there has to be some. If penance is paid, then forgiveness should be given, and da 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 da. But there's still heated argument, and and this and that and the other thing. And while the battle of words raged, the Anarch leader Tyler, Patricia of Bolingbroke, took this opportunity to burst into the delegation and make an attempt at the unlife of Harstadt, firing 2 pistols into his chest and shouting, "May your arrogant black heart be sundered and your soul sucked down to hell, Harstadt. And this time, stay dead." Tyler escaped, seeming to think she had succeeded in her assaults this time. A line of anarchs blocked those who followed her, allowing her to escape. That was the one who invited you to the card game.
Oh,
Yeah, she's a loony.
Yeah, she's a little nutso.
I completely forgot about her, but yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I
And you were
remember
like,
now
is she
that
a
you
child? I'm
mentioned
like,
that.
no, she's a young woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
She's
What was her
insane.
Huh?
What was her name again?
Tyler.
Tyler, yeah.
Tyler, yes.
And I am reaping all the benefits.
Yeah.
Quoting the wedding singer. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I'm assuming Harstadt doesn't die.
They're bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't die.
Like you
He
just,
probably
you
just
did what
stands-
now? You're done.
Yeah. He stands there and goes, okay.
Ow.
No, he's hurt pretty good. I mean, it's like point blank shot, 2 shots to the chest.
Well, yeah, but
But
it's not going to kill
He doesn't-
him.
It does. Yeah. Well, nobody knows that, but that's what happens.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's not like guns have been around a long time at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe they will kill a vampire.
Were it not for a few other people that you're interacting with, you might have never even seen. A lot of people have never seen a gun before.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? The shots being fired probably scare half the people into near frenzy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you guys specifically had because you have a ship with a cannon on it.
Yeah. We're like, why'd she do that? We're all just like,
Why does she have a pocket
confused.
cannon?
Yeah, why does she have a pocket cannon? That's weird. She knows it's not going to hurt him, right?
I don't remember all the details, but I remember looking up that one of the first cannons ever created in the West was created by not a Transylvanian
Yeah.
guy.
Of course.
Okay, October the 21st. You are caused to drink again, and you are now bloodbound.
Yes.
I was bound to
Okay.
begin with.
Yeah,
All they need to.
yeah. Being bloodbound does not make you a slave. It simply means that you are highly inclined to act towards the benefit of your benefactor, or bonder. It probably results in whatever type of respect you would have for Rustakovich just maxing out. So if you had affection for him, you just he's your best bud. If you think he's a great leader, he's the greatest leader that ever lived. And he treats you in kind.
In fact, I even expressed that after taking the final drink that I'm glad that this oversight has been corrected so that there may be greater harmony among the clan.
Yeah, he seems happy about that in general. And he's been schmoozing around and talking with various peoples and whatnot, but staying kind of quiet in a way. So, are there any actions you guys want to take this day? You can take an action.
I kind of just want to, don't know if it's necessarily an action, but if I'm schmoozing and hobnobbing with people, my general outlook on this whole idea of the Camarilla is, it sounds good. It sounds good. However, a gilded cage is still a cage. And I have to wonder who is going to hold the keys to it.
That becomes an action when you want to put that opinion onto somebody.
Okay, that's my action.
Who?
Who would be a good person to put it on? I don't know. Who's on the fence that I have caused contact?
There's plenty of people on. Let's pull up the list, man. Let's look at them. Let's see who's where. Looking at the pictures, I think, is one of the best ways to go about doing this.
Okay.
So you can see. Oh yeah,
I'm not going to plug it in just now unless you really want me to.
No, it's your thing. I know who all of them are,
Yeah.
The last two. Just kidding.
except for the last one.
Or the one.
I know what the last one was. It wasn't a character.
Yeah.
I have an idea to that, guys, and I can go look it up. It's on the old video, but I didn't watch the entire thing because I have other games I run and other hobbies outside of this hobby.
I don't know. There's so many choices to be made. So many possibilities.
Yeah, as soon as you look at them, you see the possibilities. You're like, I don't know who's on the fence. Till you look at them,
Yeah.
it's like, oh crap, yeah, this one, this her, him, her.
Tell me about Vasanta Sena, this Malkavian.
She is the child of Uganda, and she is not on the fence about the Camarilla. She's pro Camarilla, but she is on the fence about what the Camarilla should do about all of these situations.
Okay.
Is she one that you want to try to?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Let's do
So
it.
you get her questioning. Are you gonna like try to like get her anti-Camarilla, or just kind of like get her opposed to various issues and stuff?
Kind of, like, I don't want to overtly flip her or anything. I just want her
Not
to,
overtly.
Yeah, I want her to start questioning and be like, well, let's slow our roll here. Like, are we sure this is what we want to do?
Well, define this. I need you to define this.
The whole, well, because they're looking to basically move real fast and establish, like, with reference to the archons and all that. Who's it going to be? Who's going to be in charge? What are we going to do? Well, maybe I am just looking to flip her, so she can be like, why do we need to do this? Do we not, and I'll point out that for millennia that the children of Cain have managed to govern themselves with a fair degree of success, and now all of a sudden, because of one uprising, we need to have all
And the
this-
Inquisition.
and the Inquisition, of course. But that will either die a natural death, or we will come out in force against it and put it down.
So, is it your attempt to get her to become a vocal dissenter, or to get her to be like, don't tell anybody you hate the Camarilla, but the Camarilla sucks?
No, I'm pretty persuasive. I think vocal dissenter.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else?
Cheryl dice.
No, there's no dice.
Okay.
I don't require that for this. You get an action. That's what I'm saying. You get to do a thing.
You do it.
And pretty much as long as it doesn't like wreck the official timeline that I need to maintain to keep this game straight, you can just do it. So, yeah, you can flip her.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I kind of envision that as happening organically. As hey, you're a person. Let's talk. And that's,
Sure, yeah.
That's what happens. I probably spend a lot of the day talking to her.
Yeah.
I am going to meet up with some of my fellow gangrel and sort of feel them out, see which way they're looking to go in general.
I'm just writing a note real quick.
I imagine I've attained some enmity there.
Well, I'm just keeping track of all the stuff that each character deals with and all whatnot.
I'd actually kind of like to find out where Tyler ran off to.
He's first.
Oh, I didn't know there's. So.
He was talking, and I asked him to let me make a note.
Oh, sorry.
Go.
Basically, I just want to talk to him mainly. Who is the leader, Milos? Is that the leader?
So right now, you are asking about information. You are not taking an action.
Yeah. Well,
Cool.
there may be an action.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just saying that getting this information is not taking an action. So you've got Tiberu of B Streets, you've got Torvus Bloodbeard, you've got a few kind of nobodies. and you have Milov Petenkov. Milov Petenkov is fucking for real, like Camarilla is all the way. That's what's going to happen, and he's real quiet about it. He doesn't like philosophize about it. He's like, the Camarilla is the best option, and that's pretty much the end of that discussion. Torvus he's been chumming it up with the Anarchs. He thinks they're pretty keen. And then who was the other one? Tiberu. Tiberu has been bound to the voivodes for so long that he just you can tell that's the reason, but he just kind of declines to comment. And the other gangrel are a mix. Most of them think that the Anarchs are just too unruly and too political, and they don't really have time for that. And so some of their solution is to try to, I'm just going to go off in the wild. And the others are like, well, we're not, the wild isn't going to be completely wild for a long time, and we have to, probably the best thing to do is join up with Camarilla and then use that as a way to secure our wildlands to keep them that way.
Well,
They're like, we got to keep some sense amongst these people.
I will speak to Torvus, my fellow Norseman.
Yeah, Torvus.
And basically, my goal is to persuade him that the Anarchs are a bunch of petulant children who need to be brought underfoot or ignored, one of the two, because they're not doing any good. And all they're doing is causing problems for the rest of us.
I think you will ultimately be successful, but how do you contend with his, yes, but they do so much great warring and pillaging?
Yeah, well, with great warring and pillaging is great unless it draws attention to us and forces us to take measures that we would not be comfortable taking. It forces us to move. And well, how is your warring and pillaging going to help you if mortals find you by day and stake you, et cetera, things like that.
I think that will probably take a good amount of time of talking to him about non-warring and combating life as if it were warring and combating.
And I'm also going to approach it from the point of view of the hunter. How much better is it? How much more satisfying to stalk your prey by night in silence and bring them down through skill rather than through brute force and open hostility.
So between those two things, I think you would really have to sit down and tell him no, when you're not fighting, you're always fighting. And this is how you're fighting. You're fighting with words, and you're fighting with this to get him out of this, the only way to wage war on your enemies is to swing an axe in their face. But you will be successful. You get an action. That is your action. By the end of it, he's just kind of these are interesting things I'll take to mind, and da-da-da-da-da. And, you probably see a little bit less of him chumming it up with the Anarchs after that.
And I'm not necessarily, vouching for the Camarilla. I haven't yet made a decision in that regard. However,
He spits on
I
the ground.
tend to trust them
He spits on the ground.
more than the Anarchs. At least for now. At the moment, I have decided upon the path of neutrality. But I do know for certain that the Anarch way is not the way to go.
All right. VUS against Anarchs. And you could probably also double it up by saying they're cowards because they always fight in these big groups. And all right, what do you got? You were speaking up.
Yeah, I was curious about seeing if I can find out where Tyler ran off to. If they didn't,
Tyler gone.
They left the country or gone.
Tyler gone.
Okay, then that's it.
Anybody else?
I already did a thing.
Any requests for information?
Cameron, you gotta have a thing. Come on.
No, he doesn't.
I know you do. I mean, Jakub, you gotta have a thing. Amy's got a thing.
Not really. I mean, she's already kind of done what she needs to do. She's just kind of hanging out.
Let's just do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Have fun with this, sir. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Now, so that I'm understanding correctly, the Voivode are not pro-Anarch. They're also not pro-Camarilla. They are pro...
Dude, Rustikovich is pro-Voivode.
Pro, we do what we have always done.
Yeah, but he's being real quiet about it. Like, he's not going around decrying this or decrying that, or supporting this or supporting that. He's kind of like
He's just
crossing
getting.
his arms in the corner. Like, sometimes he doesn't even come out of the keep.
Yeah.
Just trying to gain the measure.
More interested in seeing what comes out of these proceedings than anything else.
Well, then I go and talk to him and ask him what he would like to see happen.
He would probably tell you that he wants to see the wolves and bats of the Shemisi spread their way across the entire world and to dominate it as it should be. But that will come many centuries from now. These proceedings are important to making that happen, but rather minor in contrast. These Camarilla and Anarchs are making themselves a more persistent faction than they had been, so he wants to be there to see their, how they incept themselves.
Okay.
And he's really got no stake
Either way.
in it.
Yeah. Okay. He's more focused on what's going to happen.
He's focused on something else.
Yeah. Okay. Well, taking over the world, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drawing a line between here and there.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
Yeah, trying to, yeah.
Like, what's the line?
So, okay.
He doesn't propose it as, he's not like, oh yeah, we're gonna rule the world in 50
Yeah,
years.
no, he just
No, it's
says,
just all like, no, this is our ultimate destiny. It's what we were
Yeah.
created for. It's what we build towards, and it's the way it's gonna be.
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah.
And you're like,
And these fools just don't know it yet.
Yeah. Yeah. But Emmy knows. Emmy can read between the lines. She's like, oh boy. She's like, what am I doing? Okay. Okay.
Now, the question I have is, does anyone approach us? Does that happen?
There's a bunch of scenarios in the book of people approaching you, but it's way too involved for the way I'm trying to get through this.
Understood.
So that is a thing that is normally happens in this part of the story, but I'm trying to super abbreviate it just to
Yeah.
get you guys familiar with what happens during it and to get you a series of enemies and allies and opinions on the various things that happen so that we can keep going. Because if we get into that, we're playing out a bunch of specific scenes and then we have to play out the aftermaths of all those scenes. And it's been so long and there's so much stuff that I want to just kind of like,
Okay.
go.
Got it.
Get it going.
Okay.
Get it going on.
Yeah. Is that it?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm good.
October the 21st. A statement of progress opened this gathering. The ancient Malkavian Unmada called for cooperation and warned of disaster should this initiative fail. Then a forum provided an opportunity for any to make statements to the delegation. And his childer spoke up.
His?
His childer,
Who?
Unmada,
Okay.
the guy with all the crazy
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
stuff through his face.
He took him out and spoke.
And she
I got that
started.
part.
She started talking about why it is the Camarilla was specifically needed in the first place, and wasn't it for how many centuries that the Canaanites have ruled themselves, and are our problems so significant that we require a gilded cage for ourselves? To which there was a huge bunch of shushing and like, whoa.
Yeah.
Unmada was not happy about that at all. Pax enemy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Unmada.
oh, so I picked good, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I picked
Yeah.
interesting. Is what you're saying.
He's kind of like, we need to work together, and like which implies a lot of Camarilla support. And then she's like, yeah, fuck that.
Oh boy. This ought to be good.
Yep. There was an opportunity for any to make a statement to the delegation. This is where you can, you have not been allowed to speak to the delegation at this point. Speaking to the delegation is like stepping on a landmine. Who wants to do it?
Me, man.
What do you?
I did, didn't
No, you spoke up during one of the debates, basically. This is like, no, you can take center stage and talk to everybody.
So, Pax,
And you don't have to give like an entire speech or
I'm
anything,
not.
but you can just roll it out. Like, these are the things I said.
the gist of it. No, the gist of it is because Pax, Path of the Archangel, man, Path of the Archangel. I'll talk to him a little bit about what I saw, the incredible beauty and grace of the fair city of Constantinople.
So you tell him about the dream.
And the dream did not die. The dream was murdered. But it lives still. It lives still, and it can live wherever we will let those seeds grow. They are spread like seeds are spread on rushing winds after a great fire, such as the burning of the city, etc., etc. Flowery speech, presence out the ass.
Right.
Talk about the dream.
Yeah.
And this is what we should strive for.
How do you respond to Harstadt's rebuttal that it was the Turks as led by the Assamites that killed this dream?
That it was the Turks as led by the Assamites. If we are to live according to the principles of the dream, then those who do not understand it simply have not seen the beauty of it. They should be given a chance to see the dream fulfilled.
All right. Following that up is a refutation of that from Rafael de Corazon, who shares his vision of the importance of the masquerade and the necessary of the Camarilla. At first, he's ridiculed and almost forced to step down because of you. His impassioned arguments gained converts, however, and the masquerade was adopted among the assembly.
Well, because it is.
Because it is, yeah. But you made your thing about the dream that vampires and humans could live together in peace and harmony.
We did.
Dogs and cats.
Dogs and cats living together.
There-
Mass hysteria.
At the end of the discussion, Etrius and several other Tremere exclude themselves from the proceeding.
Maybe not as fully supporting that as they assumed.
All right, October the 22nd. It seems like people are wanting information before actions they take. So what information do you guys want about NPCs? Any? Not required. And all of this, I'm sure, will get revisited in dozens of flashbacks. Or none. I don't know. We'll see.
You know what? I do make it a point, if given the chance, to talk to Harstadt in like a civilized manner, like so that he knows there's no enmity between us.
Or do you want that to be your action?
Yes.
Your action is to assure Harstadt that there's no quarrel between him and you.
Yes.
Okay.
But the dream is for all.
He insults your dream and your belief in it, but he accepts that, that this difference in ideals does not immediately necessitate conflict.
As it should not.
Though he ensures you that the proper punishments for not maintaining the masquerade will be extended to you.
Wow. It's good to know that you have your standards.
Anybody else?
Reality Pax is that if everyone were to adopt the dream, that would be fine. But if not everybody, in fact, most people do not, then it is not an option.
Not yet.
Everybody, or that's it.
All or nothing.
You have a lot of arguing to do to get everyone.
Well, luckily, if there's one thing we have, it's time.
Anybody else?
You can't argue against my road, man. That ain't gonna fly.
Yeah, you can. Dude. You're living in the fantasy dream. If you think you can't argue against that,
and I'm like,
No, I mean,
and in the midst of the city of the dream, I recall flames upon your flesh.
This is true.
Yes, those which the Camarilla will be concerned about still lived in the city of the dream.
It's okay, guys. Don't worry about it. A couple centuries, I'll still be in charge. She's joking.
okay.
She's joking.
Okay.
well, that got dark.
Hey, Emmy's just keeping it real.
Were we good to go with the events for October 22nd?
Yeah.
Durga Sen was already in place on the speaker's platform when the rest of the delegates arrived. She made a case for non-intervention, suggesting the masquerade will only make the mortals angry that they were duped. The issue of the Justicars and their succession took up the first half of the discussion once Durgasen had left the platform. The delegates made their final arguments to the assembly and cast their votes. Attendees dispersed, with taking some part of the treaty of the attendees dispersed, taking some part in the drafting of the Treaty of the Convention of Thorns and other finalizing their plans for a statement of protest. And the Tremere remain sequestered.
What's gonna happen there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
They have their own
They have their own convention.
Yeah. At the beginning of the next day, Rustakovich and his Shemisi horde leave. Before anyone can speak, before anything's announced, they all leave.
Emmy just laughs.
And they're like, yeah, tell us what they put on their piece of paper.
I think you already know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, October the 23rd, what kind of things do people want to do? Nobody, nothing?
I've done a lot. What do y'all do?
Information? No informations?
That's the problem. I don't think Jakub has any direction as far as which is better or worse. He's going to move forward whatever happens.
Okay, so that's a negatory.
Yep.
All right, October the 23rd. The gathering listened to the reading of the treaty by Eleanor de Valois. The delegates who agreed to its terms signed the document. All anarchs who agree to its terms are required to drink the blood of the Camarilla elders present. The elders explained that the Asimite clan has been ordered to undergo a thaumaturgical ritual to prevent the practice of diablerie. The Tremere finish this ritual. Yeah. The text of the treaty signed is as follows. The Treaty of the Convention of Thorns. Many years have passed since the start of our current conflict, now called the Anarch Movement. Be it known that on this night of the 23rd of October, 1493, the jihad has ended. The time for self-destruction is over. This convention, bound by the covenant of Cain by sacred vow, represents an unyielding, vigilant truce between the kindred, known unto themselves as the Anarchs, the clan Assamite, and the freestanding kindred bound under the title of the Camarilla. Henceforth, the parties shall be recognized by factions as the Anarchs, the Assamites, and the Camarilla. Each of these parties agrees to the responsibility of maintaining peace. Each shall lay its censures upon any who breach or oppose this sacred agreement. Accounting will be made for all parties for violations by them to either the letter or spirit of this agreement. This document is legally binding under the accepted lex talionis, which means the blood hunt, of all Canaanites as it is passed through the ages. All kindred are entreated to accept and gain pleasure from this peaceful accord. Be it known that the Anarchs will enjoin with the Camarilla as an accepted part, making it whole. Anarchs are expected to work peacefully to achieve their own ends. They must become defenders of all, and they shall receive full entitlement to all rights and privileges belonging to all Camarilla kindred. All Anarchs shall be accepted back unto their elders and their formerly denounced clans without any fear of reprisal. Only the most vicious of atrocities shall not be forgiven. These shall stand written by the Justicars to hear within 1 year, after which all allegations are no longer valid. All Anarchs shall reclaim all remaining and rightful property confiscated from them. In return, they must turn over any war gains taken during the conflict by giving them over to their sires or any recognized clan elder. Know that if the Archons are further warred upon, this open jihad invalidates the responsibility to maintain peace with the attacker. They may act freely without fear of reprisal from non-active members of the Camarilla. Anarchs are guaranteed the freedom to act as they please, short of breaching the masquerade imposed for the protection of all kindred from the kind. It's also noted that any member of any other self-proclaimed sect must openly declare this before his elders and renounce this relation. Failure to do so will result in the destruction of any deemed guilty. No kindred may be sent unknowingly to his death by an elder or sire unless the security of clan or Camarilla outweigh the possible loss of unlife. From this night forward, the Assamites shall henceforth no longer commit diablerie upon members of other clans. The Assamites must commit themselves to this acceptance by a mark of assurance placed upon them in the form of a thaumaturgical limitation. All members of the Assamites shall become unable to drink freely of the vitae of other kindred from now until forever. In addition, the Assamites shall pay the Bruja elders of Spain 2,000 pounds of gold in ransom for the 5 Assamite elder captured committing diablerie. Also, the Assamites may no longer participate in blood hunts. Be it also known that the Assamites are guaranteed complete independence from Camarilla demands. The Assamite fortress Almut shall be free from any further assaults. Assamites are also granted, out of the respect for their beliefs, the freedom to commit diablerie within their own clan without restraint, and the right to commit diablerie upon all kindred not recognized as holding membership within the Camarilla. It is rendered that all parties involved and all showing allegiance to any of these parties shall be held responsible for all aspects of this convention brought forth here in the neutral kingdom of England, outside the hamlet of Thorns, near the town of Silchester. May Cain hold truth and peace for all of us.
Got all that, Amy?
Oh, sure. I wrote that all down. I sure as heck did. I even drew a picture of the person saying it.
Courtroom sketching.
On the following night, October the 24th, it was found upon awakening that in the early night, before any of the delegates had motivated themselves out of their sleeping quarters, on the night after the signing of the treaty, Micah Vikos led an attack by the Anarchs against the mortals of the city of Silchester, killing and intentionally violating the masquerade. They were described as sabbats of devils and witches by the mortals. The attack referred to as the Haseldama, or Field of Blood. Harstadt and Raphael Corazon took charge of the mortal survivors, using the power of their combined disciplines to erase the memories of the demons. Harstadt and Ananda de Sefrosa vowed to hunt down the attackers.
Oh, Micah.
Making things difficult.
As always. That's his MO.
So then, having done that, have a fun little experience and go look up the town of Silchester.
Yeah.
Who hurt you, Micah?
Who didn't hurt Micah?
Wars. That's who hurt.
A hell of a war.
The Ottomans.
Upon leaving, Master Zalios comes to you, dear Thomas,
Oh.
and tells you that he hopes you'll understand, but as you being his apprentice, he cannot have any work of his, though even descended from your hands, exist in this place. Given the horrors that have been done here, and he is going to take this keep down to the foundation and crush every rock that's a part of it.
I understand. I agree with them. It's best to keep this all secret, and given the events that happened in Silchester, it's best just to erase everything about us ever being here.
And that's the end of the Convention of Thorns.
Awesome.
So, I think it probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
Can I give you an important note?
Yes.
Rustikovich did not give you shit once after that.
After what?
After banishing you,
Oh,
air quote banishing you,
yeah.
he didn't give you any shit at all. Wasn't even like, haha, you don't exist. He's, just like, yeah, whatever.
Just another person that exists somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't care.
What I was going to say is it might not be a bad idea, given our true allegiances, as far as the Black Hand, for at least one of us to keep tabs on what's happening inside the capital. And I see the most likely candidate.
Since you are banished.
Okay.
So yeah. Make it so.
Make it so, number one.
K-Town and I go on a hunt.
Yeah, and I go on a hunt with the members of the gangrel that are there,
Mm-hmm.
as we had planned.
Yeah, that probably happened sometime. I had forgotten about that for a moment, but that probably happened like on the 20th.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you guys were talking with, Torvus. But yeah, there's a gangrel hunt, and it's just kind of like the gangrel literally just put everything down and hunt, and then go back.
I think the Sedite hunt you can feel free to narrate however you wish.
Do you want to play it?
A little bit. I also don't want necessarily want to
Monopolize the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I think you can hunt down Luke's however you want with ease. He repents to the last breath.
I swore an oath.
I think Fidelis, though, gets away.
Oh, I have no interest in him.
He swore an oath just joining that.
I swore an oath.
Rather than swearing vengeance against you, he swears that he will carry on Luke's message far from here.
I don't even like chase. I don't like if he doesn't even run. I have no interest in him at all.
And then he'll stand there and talk a bunch of crap for him.
And I'll just be like, penitence or no, there are some sins that require a price to be paid, and sometimes that price is in blood.
He sees that he looks forward to traveling to a faraway place where this sin can't take root, where he can spread the light.
If that is truly your desire, then Godspeed.
And he does so.
Just go and get on a boat.
I'm also going to get with the
Gotta get on a boat.
Assamites and see what their
Coming to America.
take on the whole thing is, as far as like the blood magic and all that. And,
Oh, they're not happy about it, but they're glad to not be at war with the Christians anymore.
yeah. And I expressed my
They signed the accord too.
I expressed my apologies that I was not able to do more, but I'm not exactly the most persuasive individual.
It seems to be their opinion that to expect such a thing from you would be nonsense.
I hope we-
Yeah, you're not the guy.
In the future.
We like it.
The overall, the curse sucks, but they're not warring with the Christians anymore. They're not being forced to be a part of the Camarilla.
Yeah.
They signed the accord.
The Assamites. That's who you talk. Oh yeah.
I think I'm totally gonna invite Ketal to travel with us for a time back
Okay.
east, unless he has other things to do.
He'll travel with you for a little while.
He's not a good guy,
No.
but he's my friend. Just because you are a bad guy does not mean you are a bad guy. Or- When I was crushing a man's skull, just like a sparrow egg.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Is there any stuff? That's what I got for today.
So you killed Lux.
No, he's dead.
He killed the shit out of Lux.
Nice.
I don't Diablerize him or anything.
No,
he's
you
dead.
just yeah.
Plus, at this point, I'm probably lower generation beings anyway.
Yeah.
Thank
Maybe.
you, Jakku.
No, definitely.
Oh yeah. Well,
100%.
It's the abyss or whatever.
100%.
Yeah.
We know better.
Yeah.
We've been practicing Assamites. I mean,
What?
what? No, sorry, I didn't.
What I say? What I say? What I say?
Look,
Freudian slip.
there's this whole century that was really fuzzy, and I don't really remember what happened, but I feel a little better after it. No, I can't. Sorry.
Feel.
I don't know if I feel better, but I'm definitely hungrier.
It's true.
Okay. That was our wrapping up and moving forward from there on.
All right.
Done. Any questions?
No, I think that was a pretty not alacritous. That's not the word I want to use. Kind of it is, but yeah, to wrap up.
It's a nice little that's what happened last time. Good lead into what's going forward. You know, it's like the movie in between the two seasons of the TV show.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's like the Doctor Who Christmas special.
As long as it's not the Star Wars holiday special.
No, nobody's talking about all that. Nobody's talking about all that. We're talking about spinning Christmas trees right now.
I'm totally going to leave a cryptic message for Gabriella to receive after we've left.
Oh, okay. Oh, so there is more. Here we go.
Yeah.
What's this say?
It says, "No matter how dark the shadows around you, I still see you."
Ooh.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Could be ominous.
It's
Probably
not.
isn't. Probably isn't.
It's
Or is
pretty
it?
much
I don't know.
word for word. There's no reading between the lines. It is what it is.
Yeah.
She knows what it means.
She knows. You hope, yeah.
No, she does. Is this a threat? Comes after me with all these Lasombra. Out of the ground. From the abyss.
From the abyss.
Weeping inky black shadows from her eyes.
Yeah.
Hey, come on. This is not what I had in mind.
Look, baby, this is my booty call. That's all it's for.
Stand down. Are we cool now?
I just think you fine, baby. That's all it is.
I know you've been hurt, baby. Come on, baby. Let me tell you something. Let me explain something to you, baby.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So I think that's it for our first return back. Yay!
Good times,
Oh,
good
yay!
times.
We're done.
Huzzah!
Okay.